last flood in Pakistan, somewhere in Nasirabad, I assembled or built a team, and after building or assembling my team, I designed the model on a climate smart building. In a display of unusual urgency, we constructed those schools within a record period of 3 months, of course, under the strict supervision of our funding agency, Asian Development Bank. It was a learning curve for all of us, including me. The learning curve, however, was not without its share of hustle and bustle. The implementation process was not peace and quiet. Even in certain occasions, it left us high and dry. We faced certain delays. Now the mathematics of delay is simple but devastating. Absence of school means around 1,000 children are out of school. As I said, the process was not smooth. First and foremost, our own house was not in order. At least 2 senior officers who were running the project was fighting with each other and trying to undo each other's attempts. Like Romeo and Juliet, both were from rich and powerful families, but were constantly dagger drawn throughout project life. Unlike Shakespeare's star-crossed lover, they also detested each other. So there was no use asking them to reconcile. Both grew thick-neck, but they were without a strong backbone. So when ADP applied its mighty pressure, both surrendered their ego then and there. Now, in a way, it was a good thing to do because handing over a highly technical project into largely non-technical government officer is like expecting a traffic warden to conduct an orchestra.
Wow.
Wow.
The second one was the obstacle was financial. Every project in public sector was finance hunger, capital hunger, and failure prone. So we had a very difficult time when it comes to the flow of funding. The transfer method to the project that I'm talking, was unique and given by World Bank. It was direct, long, but transparent. And I must tell you, some of our officers were unwired. Those who had a eye on ADP's fund. Now, speaking of the fund, according to the ADP, putting these money at the disposal of government officer was like telling a fox to guard the hen house. They were not ready to do it at any cost. So, dear Toastmaster, despite such ups and downs, we completed our scheme on time. The only serious fear was we thought we could face another flood before the completion of the scheme. But no such thing happened. And with a bit of luck, we completed it. In a way, it was the project, the most important thing, the project for me is the departure from the normal standard government procedures. We had to bend or relax certain rule in order to expedite this ADP sponsored project. It was pleasant, innovative, and convincing because annual project to the government officer, I mean, we used to, before that, we were used to putting makeup on pig in the name of development. And we discontinued it. The World Bank's project was a trailer for a lot of things to come. Many international NGOs followed this path later on. As we speak, all 107 schools are constructed, functional, and imparting education around 1,000 students, and they are getting better education as compared to their poor cousin from the government schools in the same locality. Our only regret was we could not accommodate all students in these climate smart buildings. So far, so good. But as it says, one swallow does not make a summer. So it is hoped that the government would jettison its past pattern and adopt new pathway in as per advice of Asian Development Bank. Because to tell the truth, the project of such nature was long overdue, especially when the next disaster from climate change is lurking in the wing. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, PM Asghar. Quite a bit experience you shared with us. Well, our next speech is by TM Sumbul. And for her speech, I would like to invite our valuable distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid.
No, actually, it's DTM Sarfraz.
Okay, sorry.
Toastmaster.
Yes, so another distinguished Toastmaster, Sarfraz Nazir. Over to you, Sarfraz.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Amra Yunus. Toastmaster Sombul Malik is working on her presentation mastery pathways. This is her second speech in level 1. Writing a speech with purpose. The title of her speech is Why Every Voice Matters. So in her speech, she's going to tell us why every voice matters. Toastmaster Sombul Malik.
Toastmaster Sombul, can you see the timers window? Yeah.
Yeah.
Timer is, yeah.
Imran Rana?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
So I would like to know, am I audible and visible?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Okay, great. So let's start. Why every voice matters, including mine. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honorable guests. Have you ever felt like your voice didn't matter? Like you were standing on sidelines, wanting to speak, but a little thing in your head said, no one is going to listen. I have felt that way many times. And honestly, if delaying tactics was an Olympic sport, I would have won a gold medal, still wanting it to collect it to the last moment. But today, I want to share why I've come to believe that why every voice matters, including mine, and yes, including yours. Let me take you back to a moment when I learned a power of a single voice. It was in a classroom. I was shy, the kind of person who dreaded raising her hand. And seriously, if there had been an invisible cloak available, I would have worn it daily. One day, teacher asked, "What do you think courage means?" Something stirred in me. I had an answer, but fear gripped me. Fear gripped me. I thought the thinkings coming in my mind was, what if my answer goes wrong? What if people laughed? And worse, nobody laughed, but all stared at me. That's even scarier. I hesitated first, but then I raised my hand and said, courage is speaking up even when your voice shakes. To my surprise, the classroom was silent. And then the teacher said, "That's a beautiful answer." In that moment, I realized something powerful. Our voices can have an impact we don't even realize. And sometimes the scariest thing is worth doing. Fast forward to today, why I have come to see that many of us hold our voices back. Maybe it's the fear of judgment or the belief that what we say doesn't matter. But the truth is, every voice has the power to inspire, to challenge, and to bring change. Still, if you don't want to convince your, if you want to convince yourself, remember the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Think about this. We have a history of all voices. People like Malala Yousafzai spoke up for education, even when her life was in danger. And Rosa Parks, whose silent no sparked this civil movement's resolution. They weren't the loud voices, but the courageous ones. They didn't even find their voices, rather, they used it when it mattered most. Closer to home, I have seen how speaking up can change relationships, work environments, and even communities. Whether it's suggesting an idea to a meeting or or speaking up for someone who is being overlooked. A small act of speaking up can create ripples. But here's the thing. The first voice you need to convince is your own. It's about silencing your inner critic and speaking. Toastmasters have been an incredible place for me in this regard. Whenever I stood up to speak, I have taken a step forward to owning my voice. It's my voice. It's not perfect. Sometimes it shakes, sometimes it stumbles, but it's mine and it's worth hearing. Fellow Toastmasters, every voice matters because every person matters. And today, I want to leave you with this thought that your voice is like a seed. It might seem small, but when planted, it can grow to a bigger, meaningful, and impactful plant or a tree. So don't let fear or doubt silence it. Your ideas, your stories, and your perspectives, they matter. Because when we all share our voices, we create a world where everyone is heard. And believe me, that world is worth striving for. So let's promise no more staying silent when we have to say something. Have the courage to speak, even if you get ignored for the first time. Remember, every voice matters, including mine, and most importantly, including yours. Thank you.
Thank you, TM Sumbul. Yes, every words matter. Now our last speech is from TM Danish Azmat. Hopefully he's ready now. Yes, TM Danish Azmat, are you here?
Toastmaster Danesh, are you there?
Yeah. So should we proceed with
Just
table topic session?
just a second. Let me try giving him a call. Just give me about a few seconds.
Sure.
Yes, Toastmaster Danish as well will be delivering the speech. So, yeah. Toastmaster Danish, please turn on your video. Yes, there you are. Yeah, please introduce
Thank
the
you.
product.
Yeah. Thank you
Danish,
very much.
your screen is sideways and it's blurred.
Let me check some.
Yeah.
Just sir, hang on.
Yeah, we can hear you very well. But meanwhile, you introduce the project, shall we?
So Toastmaster Danish Smith, you are going to be presenting from Pathways Presentation Mastery Level 1 for Level 2 Speech with Purpose. The title of your speech is The Butterfly Effect Embracing Change. The project purpose is the purpose of this project is to learn or review basic methods of writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Timer, the time for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Danish, wish you all the best.
Just hang on, sir.
Danish,
Okay,
I
sir,
think you should remove the blur on your Zoom.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, that's what's causing the problem. And either turn yourself 90 degrees or the camera 90 degrees.
Turning himself would be easier.
And turn your device. Is it a phone that you're using?
No, sir, actually, I'm surprised. It is my laptop.
So turn that side. Turn that sideways. Yeah.
How could I
Emergency
turn
measures.
sideways?
Only
We
in
can-
Karachi Toastmasters, you can deliver a speech while you're standing sideways.
No, sir.
This will be something new in KTC.
Yeah.
Sir, my apology for that. Let me, sir, rejoin in this meeting again so that probably this.
He's defying gravity. You should just if you can turn your laptop for,
Sir, how could I turn my laptop, sir? I could not deliver
yeah,
my speech.
exactly like this, but in the other direction. In the other direction.
I really have to turn upside down my entire laptop, sir. And on the
No, you just
same token, I really have to take it in my hand. Sir, let me leave this meeting and let me rejoin.
turn the
Sir,
other way.
Could I do that? Turn the other way. That would be perfect.
Okay.
Just need to see body language and you can see your body.
Sir, I
Okay.
did this reset to
Uh,
default setting.
Okay, fine. I think let's move ahead then. We'll use our imagination to imagine you straight. So you can go ahead. And can you see the timing window? It is the Karachi Toastmasters Club window.
Timing.
That's also a good solution. We can turn
Yes.
ours.
Can I?
Yeah. So
Sorry, could you just kind enough to give me another chance? Should I give my speech in the
No,
next
I
session,
think-
if you don't mind?
you can start. You can start. We can see you now perfectly well.
Okay.
We've turned our laptop, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Okay, sir. Oh. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine for a while a caterpillar inching its way across the branch. It is small, slow, and seemingly insignificant. But do you know what it is doing? It is preparing itself for the most dramatic transformation of its life. It does not resist. It does not fight. Rather, it is embracing the change because he knows about the fact that because if he must shed his old form in order to discover the new world of possibility. So let me ask you a question. what was the last time you embraced the change, not out of latency or out of necessity, but with the excitement and with the curiosity. You know, as you can see, we change is inevitable, just like a tide, run in and out, season shifting, and the breeze that leave the that move the leaf from the tree, right? So most of the time we often behave as if like a stubborn oak tree which does not or which resists to change. Actually, we are comfortable with the familiarities or with the comfort level of ours and with the status quo. But in this today's fast-paced world, where we have to face the change more than ever, whether it is technology or work culture or personal growth, the pace of transformation can be overwhelming. But instead of fearing of it, we really have to see it as the wind that pushes us forward. And we really have to align ourselves with this and so that we can inculcate the modern judgment, right? Let me tell you a story of a person whom I know. He is a brilliant entrepreneur named Zen. Zen built a business from scratch. For years, he was king of his domain. His company thrived uh, in the traditional way of doing business. But then the wave of digital transformation came. His competitors were incorporating the new technology. His industry was disrupted faster than he could blink. Initially, he was resisted. He was proud of his old ways, believed that there would be sufficient enough to uh, make sure his success. But uh, but change happened so drastically, he could not live up to the expectation of his customer, right? In the so consequently, he had to embrace those new digital tools. So he also trained his team and improved his processes, and he really had to run his business in the entirely new ways. So this change not only helped him survive his business to change, but also thrive him. So this is what we really have to. If we do not go with the stream, so we really have to pay the dear price. So we don't really have to afraid of embrace the change. No, normal. I know it is not easy because change is messy and you know it's very difficult to accept. But we do not have any option besides embracing it, else we really have to pay the dear price. So in the end, I really want to tell everyone that when the next time change knocks at your door, do not afraid. Open it with your open arms and your curious heart. Because who knows the transformation you are going to experience could be as beautiful as a butterfly emerging from its cocoon. I thank you for very much. My apology for that. Actually, it's very first time I'm just speaking on the upside down screen.
You sounded better this way.
Yes, thank you, TM Danish. Yes, it doesn't happen, but really your speech, we were so engaged in your speech that we didn't feel that was weird, something weird. So now let's go towards our next segment, which is, of course, everyone likes a lot. That is table topic. And for this,
Sorry, Toastmaster Amra, could you ask the timer whether everyone qualified, and
okay.
then we can.
Yeah, so please, this is TM Imran Rana.
Yes.
Please, over to you.
All the speakers are qualified.
Okay, all the speakers
are qualified.
Thank you. So all speaker qualified.
The weirdness continues, but all the speakers are qualified. Please vote for please rate all the speakers on a scale of 1 to 5. Over to you. Yeah.
Thank you. So let's move towards the table topic segment, which every one of us like. And for this, I would again like to invite distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid. Over to you, Talha.
Once upon a time, there was a little boy. He was 4 years old, and he lived with his parents in a remote town. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. It was 3 a.m. His parents were asleep, but the knock woke him. He got up and peered through the door. He could not see anything. But then he asked, "Who is it?" And the answer came. Distinguished Toastmaster Brahmani. Please continue the story.
Word of the day, blissful.
Word of the day, blissful. Sorry, we can't hear you, bro.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, now you're audible. Yeah.
Actually, I was setting my things up. I just came from the kitchen right now. I didn't listen to you, unfortunately. Can you please repeat it? What you said? I don't know what you said and what the topic is.
Once upon a time, there was a small boy. He lived in a small town. He was sleeping one night. There was a knock on the door at 3 a.m. He tried to see who that was, but he could not see. He then asked, "Who is it?" And the answer came, Distinguished Toastmaster Abrarwani. Now continue the story.
Thank you. Wow. What a moment that was. Even though I couldn't see it, but a mature and husky voice gave me a goosebump. Whose voice that was? It was none other than myself. It was my reflection, and it was talking to me. My dear Toastmaster fellows and distinguished guests, I often use this quote: life has illimitable circumscriptions. I remember that time when I got up and I heard the knock at the door. I was quite worried about my future. I couldn't see what's going to happen next. I was totally blank. I can easily recall those moments because at that day, I failed in my CA examination, first time ever in my history. It was a painful moment. But that reflection, who was talking to me, giving me a hope in a sense that, Abrar, this is not the end of your life. Life has illimitable circumscriptions. It has no limit. You can go anywhere. If you don't want to continue CA, you may opt yourself for another thing or for another educational opportunity? Well, my dear Toastmaster fellow, I did not give up. That particular voice that was continuously hitting my ear and my heart gave me a hope that this is not the end. I immediately thought, well, this is the time to gather yourself and present yourself in a way that you are not the loser. As it is being said by someone, that you only lose when you give up. I urge every one of you, never give up and always listen to your inner reflection. Over to you.
As Abrar Vani learned about his exam result, he was walking home, downtrodden, very sad. Suddenly, a motorcyclist came and whizzed by. He went by so fast that it hit Toastmaster Abrar and he fell down. A policeman approached. He saw the scene and he rounded up the two individuals. He asked the fallen individual, "What's your name?" He said, "Toastmaster Abrar." He asked the motorcyclist, "What's your name?" "Toastmaster Imran Rana." Please explain yourself.
So, could you please repeat that?
You just hit Toastmaster Abrar Vani with your motorcycle.
Okay.
What do you have to say?
When he asked my name, or
Yeah, I'm the policeman and you're explaining to
who
me.
is the-
I am.
what Abrar is doing there?
Abrar is just lying on the floor because you hit him.
Okay, so the policeman was there off.
Yes.
Okay, so the policeman started investigating me. So he asked me, "Who am I?" I told him, "I am the food panda delivery boy." And I am delivering a very special pizza to the Prime Minister. So that's why I'm overspeeding, and this Abraham Wani was just on the way, and I didn't see him because he was not wearing any reflecting clothes that reflect his personality, or not even wearing a DTM badge, so that I could have seen them. So since I am on the way of doing an official business, so you cannot stop me. If you do so, and you know where I'm going to, so I'll definitely complain you. And if you take any money from me, if you take, then Prime Minister will come and see you. So Ravani, no need to worry about, you cannot do anything to me because I'm delivering pizza for the Prime Minister. Over to you, Dr.
The food panda rider got to the Prime Minister's office. He knocked on the door and he said, "There's a delivery for Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif." And there was an answer. There's no such person there. Now there's a new person. And the food panda rider asked, "What's the name of that person?" The answer came, "Our new Prime Minister is Toastmaster Salami." The Toastmaster Salami. Please come online. My whole setup will be wasted.
You are the Prime Minister.
Toastmaster Salami, are you online?
Well, this was expected in Pakistani politics.
No, Sila never tries a
No, I'm saying in Pakistani politics, this is
Yeah.
expected.
Why not we call him Pakistan?
Yes.
How?
So our new Prime Minister is not Sirali, it's actually Mr. Altaf Hussain. So Mr. Altaf Hussain,
From the vote of confidence.
let us know how are you instead of pursuing a career in law, how do you find yourself in the Prime Minister's chair?
Put in an awkward position.
Anyhow, as I've been sitting on the chair, and that I have plenty of power, whether those powers are constitutional or statutory. This issue is not a large one, this is a minor. Now the point is, we have to find out the solution. Since I'm holding the highest position, whatever I say, whatever I act, that is the solution. So the gentleman, Mr. Imran, who came to me, and actually he was performing his duty. When the matter was examined, so the mistake of Mr. Afsar was found because he was not following the rules of walking on board. And the mistake, as is apparent from the factual aspect, was not of Mr. Imran. So Mr. Imran can't be punished for that. And in this way, I'm thankful to you.
Thank you so much, our new Prime Minister, for being so good with the law. And I think you are a politician and a lawyer and a judge all rolled into one. So, yes, as the judgment was passed, police, of course, released Toastmaster Imran honorably, but not without taking the pizza that he was carrying with him. But on the other hand, it started the search for Toastmaster Abrar. And they Googled his location, his address. They said, and Toastmaster Brown was nowhere to be found because guess what? He was injured and he was in the hospital and he was being treated. And in the meantime, they located Abrar's home. They knocked on the door. Darwaza khole. A person came out. What do you want? And they said, we want Abrar Wani. He's committed a major offense. And the person said, but I'm not Abrar Wani. Abrar Wani doesn't live here anymore. Wase Ahmed does.
Who brought money? That person that used to live here before? No, I don't know him. I don't remember. I don't even remember his face. I only know that there was a person whose name was Abrar Bani that used to live here. Even old people that used to live in this neighborhood, they used to say there used to be a guy named Abrar Bani who was very who used to be a very clever person, but he used to be he used to be very mischievous. He used to be very mischievous. He used to run down people's homes. And you see, I am just an innocent person. I am so innocent that if now even this new neighborhood, nobody here knows me. But everybody knows neighbor Abrar Wani. So why don't you take some steps, go to the next neighbor and ask him, where is this mischievous Abrar Wani? I know he the neighbor that lives beside me is definitely knows where he is. Thank you.
The Toastmaster Wasir Ahmed spun that tale about not knowing where he was, what he was doing, and not knowing the whereabouts of Toastmaster Rarwani. But then the police said that, okay, fine, if you don't know about Toastmaster Rarwani, what are you doing in his house? And then the reply came that he was just rented this house only 1 day ago. He just shifted. And 1 day ago, Toastmaster Rarwani shifted away from this house. So the plot got thicker and thicker and thicker. And months passed until one day the regime changed and the investigative officer was changed as well. And now the investigator in charge was Toastmaster Shahzad Iqbal. So Toastmaster Shahzad, how would you wind up this mysterious case?
Yes, okay, thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master. So I was investigating all the situation. I went to Toastmaster Vase, and before that I went to Toastmaster Imran Rana. But in the meantime, I also visit Toastmaster Parvani. He was admitted in the hospital. His hand was broken, and I asked him about the whole situation. And he told me everything about the incident. And then he said, you know what? The guy of the delivery boy, Toastmaster Imran Rana, has a strong connection with the Prime Minister. So leave all this investigation and just go to your home. So I just finished all the work and I went back to my home. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster, Mr. Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much. So this brings the investigation to an end. And the rightful culprit is, of course, Toastmaster Imran Rana. So, Mr. Timer, has everyone qualified?
Everybody is qualified.
Okay, great. So I'll be floating the poll and over to you, Toastmaster Amrai.
Thank you so much, DTM Talha, for such engaging and, we all just kept our ears open so that no one knew whose name you would take next. So this was quite engaging. Thank you so much for this session. Now, as you have told that all the table topic have been qualified from the time point of view. Now we would go towards our next segment, that is the general evaluation. And for this, I would like to hand over the stage to TM Hiba, who is our general evaluator today. So TM Hiba, over to you. Is TM Hiba here? Yeah, thank you.
Hello, Toastmasters and new guests. General evaluation is considered to be the third part of the TM's Toastmaster session. It is a very vital session without which any session is complete. And it is divided into three parts. The first part will be the prepared speech evaluation, in which I'll be calling the prepared speech evaluators. So the first the first speaker was TM Imran Chaudhary, and I call upon his evaluator, TM Imran Rana.
I'm Imran. Yes. Thank you so much, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and guests. A very good evening. Today, Toastmaster, yes, Imran Chaudhary delivered a wonderful speech, and that is about a confession of a serial listener. I like the speech title, and it made me curious. Quite an interesting title, because I was thinking that what this speech title is on, what the speech is all about. You started with your passion and love for driving, and you told us that what you could do for that. And then you built a story very beautifully, and then the turning point came, that is, you saw the ad of Kareem, and you jumped in to become the Kareem's captain. And then I realized that, okay, so this is all about. So the listener should be the Kareem driver, and it was exactly happened. Uh, since you are delivering speeches from engaging humor, I found crisp humor in your speech, like when you were telling us that either I broke or that thing broken. So that was quite humorous. Some humor element was there. And then you told us about the new phase of your life as a Korean captain, and told us that the different stories of all the passengers, all those passengers that traveled with you. Uh, your speech has a valuable message that if you want to understand a person, then you should travel with him. That's quite valuable and quite I must say quite lovely. So overall, this if I talk about the objectives, the speech content met all those objectives. What you could improve upon, since I felt that there was a lack of some practicing. You were not practiced, and you didn't practice the speech. So uh, a few of the times you concern your notes, and the speech was delivered in on one position, that you were standing all on one position. Maybe you could have used the stage according to the flow of your speech. That could add more impact to your speech. Overall, a beautiful speech, I must say, with a valuable lesson that traveling is traveling could teach you everything, or and it could also tell you about the person's personality. With the areas of improvement, you could named it. Over to you, General Bhargav.
The second speaker was TM Faisal Anis. I call upon his evaluator, TM Shahid Iqbal.
Some people struggle, and some people came and won the hearts. And that is our very new Toastmaster Faisal, who just deliver a wonderful speech full of humor with a beautiful and engaging adventure story. Uh, Top of the list was the using of humor. He used some punchlines about his adventures, and he said that we we were very lazy as a Pakistani, and then when he was stuck in a situation, he described the situation of being a Karachian, that we were all used to um, play cricket in the streets, catching the bus, and surviving in the 8 to 10 hours of load sheddings. So those were all the very lines and very related to all of us, and we all laughed in that moments. The second thing that uh, was amazing in his speech was the story, the adventure. He's from the start of his story, he tell us about that we all have some embarrassing moments in our lives, and then he started his own story. And from the start to the end, we all were connected to Toastmaster Faisal Anis. And the story was full of fun, full of humor, full of twist, full of punchlines. So it was an amazing attempt being a new Toastmaster. Faisal Anis, proud for that. Coming to the project, this is one of the most important project of any pathways of Toastmasters. It was about vocal variety and body language. So he used it very beautifully, I think so. In the vocal variety, when he was ex when he was explaining about that Jamaican guy, he didn't slow, sir. So he said that, man, oh man, what's wrong with you? So at that moment, he changed his vocal variety. And when he said about that Mujhko bacha lo, so he opened his hand and he pitched his voice at that moment. So that was again an amazing attempt to use a vocal variety. About the body language, I think sometimes you use there was some excessive use of your hand gestures, but most of the times you will very well and you use your hand gesture and use of the stage very well. Uh, Coming to the recommendation part, I think it was a very amazing speech. Overall, but one suggestion from my side that you had a very beautiful story and you ended very abruptly. So what you have to do, if you could give us a lesson from your story, for example, you could tell us that what did you learn from your embarrassing moment or from that adventure or from your story. You could tell us that life is not perfect and we all have those embarrassing moments in our life, but we have to enjoy it. We have to laugh on ourselves and we have to enjoy those little moments. So all in all, bravo and keep delivering your speeches. Back to you, Miss General Elevator.
The third speaker was Toastmaster Umar Khayyam, and I call upon his evaluator, Toastmaster Azhar.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Our third speaker was Omar Khayyam. Khayyam was speaking from Pathway, Presentation Mastery, Level 1, Project 4. The title of his project, A Lesson. It was an apt title. First of all, I would like to congratulate you selecting this topic. Our veteran, one of our veteran, DTM Sarfaraz Wazir here, always advise us to be very much precise when it comes to the title. So thank you very much for this title. Your speech was largely consist of a story. It was in a way a storytelling. You showed your head, blur of pool of blood, then you asked the question and you answered the question, and we came to know that it was all because of the movie Departed. And the way you referred the gory scene of that picture, and then the way you tried to recreate it was not the most stupid thing you do. It is the stupid thing we all have been doing in our lives. So don't take into your heart and don't be frustrated. Then the way your office boy advised to take another shot. And the way you deployed your powerful punch in spite of the fact you didn't call the punch a prayer. Now let me tell you three strong things that you had. Your hand gesture, your eye contact, your confidence with the audience is amazing. And I'm telling you, based on all the speeches that you have delivered in front of us, this is one thing I really like it. Your train of thought when you are in the story, I have never saw it broken while you are speaking. The second, the usage of your language, excruciating pain, blast like a flower. And above all, your humor of self-deprecation, the way you call yourself. It is my habit, and I'm grateful finding someone having a similar habit. The recommendation area may be the connecting words. When you are telling a story, it is very important to transform yourself from the one segment of the story to the other segment. with the help of the connecting words, you could have chosen some better connecting words. For example, instead of using so for that reason, you used once. You could have used it other words in a more sophisticated way, I believe. Secondly, perhaps it is important to be informal and casual among your friend or among your subordinate. But sometimes we need to rehearsal, we need to practice how to speak in front of a formal audience to develop our presentation in terms of a formal audience. So you need to think about the environment where you are going to present your story. Above all, it was a good story. Please come up with a similar story. Thank you, journal evaluators. Over to you.
The fourth speaker was Toastmaster Askar, and I call upon his evaluator, DTM Talab bin Ahmed.
Thank you so much. Toastmaster Asghar, I'm feeling strangely overwhelmed with your speech today because it was truly a masterpiece, honestly speaking. The one most prominent thing I noticed today about your speech was that you said words and phrases that spoke volumes while being very simple. So in a way, your speech came across like the tesseract, which looks three-dimensional in our three-dimensional world, but in reality is existing in so many more dimensions. So it was just a front for so many things that you wanted to convey, and you did convey very successfully, provided we were hearing each and every word you said. And what words, high and dry, simple but devastating, fighting with each other. And you know that fighting, two of your fighting bosses were just juxtaposed with Romeo and Juliet. I mean, how amazing is that contrast? Star-crossed lovers and thick necks without backbone. I mean, where do I even stop? And then the kicker, traffic warden to conduct an orchestra. Just imagine, because traffic warden is actually making gestures. So it's not that far-fetched. It's just close enough to be completely ridiculous. So I don't know what to say to that. I honestly have no words to describe that. All I can say is it was like poetry we were witnessing, right? For unfolding before our eyes. Your speech had a great lesson about bending rules. Innovative, pleasant, and convincing. That was the project. And how much more beautifully you can summarize the project. And having worked with organizations like ADB recently, I can fully empathize with you, how they slightly push you, not too much, but they keep tabs and they make you attentive and very much on your toes all the time. So you have to be completely alert about each and everything. Your end was very motivating about describing the schools. I mean, it filled our hearts with bliss and joy. And finally, you managed to somehow link everything to climate change. I mean, again, the tesseract comes to mind. A few improvement areas. Your speech curiously lacked a bit of expression today in terms of vocal variety and facial expressions. For example, when you were describing hustle and bustle, the fighting bosses, that was a golden opportunity for you to inject some animation into your speech. While I thought you took too much time in the build-up, ultimately it was justified because of the succinct words that you used to describe lengthy passages of time and a few grammatical errors here and there. But my main improvement area would be when you were describing the outcome. Curiously, the joy of the whole situation was missing. We could feel it in your words, but we could not feel it in your expressions. Overall, absolutely fantastic project, both as a project and as a speech. We are grateful to you. And today, I think you changed a lot of lives in a very little ways. It was an enthralling experience. Thank you so much, and over to you, General.
The fifth speaker was Toastmaster Sumbul Malik, and I call upon her evaluator, DTM Sarfaraz Nazir, sorry.
Technically,
Thank
that's
you.
correct. That's correct.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and especially you, Toastmaster Sumbul Malik. Thank you for your speech. This was your second speech in level 1. The purpose of your speech was to tell us why every voice matters. I liked your structure. You opened with the question, which was also the title of your speech, why every voice matters. Then you told us a personal story about your experience in the classroom. You gave us some examples from history, such as Parker, Rosa Parks. And you ended by telling us the seed grows into a tree. I also like the fact that you stood up to deliver your speech, even though that is not a requirement of your project. I like the choice of words that you used, or the phrases that you used in your speech, such as fear gripped me, squeaky wheel gets the grease. So I liked the structure of your speech. You also had some hand gestures to go along with the words you were speaking. But in order to improve your speaking skills and to work on your next project, I would suggest that you add some emotion to go along with your vocal variety and gestures. For example, when you were talking about raise your voice because every voice matters, you can say, raise your voice because every voice matters. Raise your voice because there is power in every voice. Then, to challenge yourself, I personally would recommend that when you are collecting your thoughts, instead of looking down or looking up, continue to look at the camera. That way, your eye contact with the audience is not broken while you're thinking. And then we, as members of the audience, cannot tell whether you are pausing because you're trying to think what your next sentence is. I liked your speech because the subject matter you chose. It is important for us to know why every voice matters. You used historical references, used a personal story, and your choice of words was great. And to work on your next speech, add some emotions to go along with the vocal variety and gestures. For example, when you said in the classroom, I raised my hand, you could have raised your hand while shaking before answering the question, raised. And to challenge yourself, look at the camera when you're thinking or collecting your thoughts. Great speech, and I look forward to your next speech. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
The last speaker was Toastmaster Danish Azmat. I call upon his evaluator, DTM Shahrukh Khanama.
Thank you, Madam Evaluator. Hello, Toastmasters. Toastmaster Danish presented his pathway presentation mastery, and the title of his speech was Butterfly Effect, Embracing the Change. Well, the introduction was very nice. It was very innovative, I would say, and it related with the title, caterpillar, butterfly, and so did the conclusion. If we focus on the introduction and the conclusion, the entire thing, the entire story made sense. It made this entire circle of life complete. And the purpose of this speech was to have a definite purpose, to have a defined purpose, and the purpose was clearly and rightly defined, that we have to adapt the change. And the great part about his speech was his hand movements, and he referred and gave examples and used the words like status quo, that we have to break the status quo and adapt to the situation, especially technology. and we talk about adapting this technology, this is something very rare, and I don't think so I've ever seen this in as a Toastmaster. Because when we're talking about humorous speech, we are always talking about jokes, funny stories. But over here, we were actually experiencing the situational comedy sort of a thing, and everyone was involved. And everyone was using their innovative ideas and imagination to solve the problem. TDM Tala was turning upside down the laptop. DM Imran was turning the camera upside down, and DM Danish was unable to keep up with the technology, which was the actual message of his speech. So this is something very interesting. It is very rare, and I have never come across this kind of speech in my entire career or as a Toastmaster. And I have been Toastmaster since 2009. So it has been a long journey, and this was an amazing speech as far as I am concerned. So area of improvements, well, obviously, your screen was you were standing sideways, and we were confused that whether to turn left or to turn right or to turn other left or to other right. And then the voice modulation and vocal variety could have been improved, and you were hesitant in delivering your speech. So I will advise you that you should take every chance, every opportunity when it is provided to you as a Toastmaster to come up on the roster, on the stage and speak. And in my concluding remarks, it was an enjoyable speech. We all had fun. We were all involved and part of your speech, which is very rare. And I hope that you will continue to present great and enjoyable speeches in the future. Toastmaster Danish, congratulations. Back to you, Valley.
The second part of the general evaluation is the table topic evaluation. So I call upon Toastmaster Asghar.
Everyone vote for best evaluator. All are qualified, right?
Thank you, General Evaluator. It is good to be here third time in front of all of you. So thank you. This is the time of evaluating table topic speeches. The first speaker was Toastmaster Abrar Wani. Abrar Wani initiated his part after DTM Tala prepared the stage of the story. Abrar Wani was inside the house and responded. Abrar Wani used some very good words, for example, mature and husky voice. And because I think he had already decided that the person would be him, that is why he started to raise his voice. And narcissistic when it comes, I mean, narcissism is a part of our personality. But then the way he explained, I really appreciate him, the way he explained the story. He talked about himself, about his exams, about his failing, and then above all, the way receiving the optimistic voice from his better path, and the way he came up that how we should not give up, or it is not the end and should not be treated the end. I would have been happier if he, rather than concluding or sending a takeaway message, continue the story for the next speaker and enable him or her to speak. Unfortunately, the next speaker was a little bit confused, not confused because he was not confident, he was confused because he is all the time, he's one of the few who is always multitasking. So he had to recover from his multitasking, gained his conscious, and then started to continue the story from where it was ended by Abrar Wani. And Imran was the unfortunate motorcycle who entangled in an accident with Abrar. The way you explained his position and the reason of accident was humorous and expendable. It, in a way, provide an opportunity for the next speaker but it could have been more systematic by, rather than being going a prime minister house, you could have gone a market or a chief executive officer or the assistant manager. Anyway, this provided our friend Altaf Hussain a very good opportunity to speak as the PM. It is always good to speak as a PM. But what although he called it an awkward position, but it was not an awkward position. Being PM, sir, is not an awkward position. The way you sit the chair with the power, and since you are the most important person in the country, but you rather than receiving the food panda person, you in a way started to examine the matter from the all aspect in order to determine who is the guilty, whether it's Ebrar Wani or the Imran Rana. But I really appreciate the way you disposed of the case by declaring Ebrar Wani as guilty.
Yes.
What I also liked is the way you use the hand gestures while speaking, and the way you developed your story and your confidence and your legal finesse, the way you used some legal words. And I believe you could be an asset if you are with us in coming witness days. I hope you will be here or closer to us. When it comes to Wase, as an investigator, he had no choice but to meet Ebrar Wani. He went to the hospital. There was no Ebrar Wani there. They said there is.
Yeah, that was Shazib, I guess.
Sorry. Then let me Wase. There was no, it was you. You met there in the hospital.
Shazib met in the hospital.
Okay, so there was no Ebrar Wani. As per Shazib, there was no Ebrar Wani. It was merely perhaps the imagination of his thinking. One of the things that I would like to recommend to Shazib is that he always tends to speak less than his time slot. He is the one who constantly urges us to come up as prepared speaker and as a role holder. So I invite him to be more frequent and get a time to speak so that we could be perceived. Because we are usually convinced from someone who is speaking more than us. So we want you to speak as well. The next was yes, you went to the Imran. You went to the Imran and the Wase in order to as an investigator, right? Wase visited in a hospital, and Imran told him where to. Yes, and Imran had a connection.
He is the clueless tenant.
Huh?
He is the clueless tenant.
Tenant?
Clueless tenant.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes. Now I got it. So yes. The investigator came to. Yes. Investigator came to the house where Ebrar Wani used to live, and there was no Ebrar Wani. They said that Ebrar Wani had left the house long time ago, but the gentleman who happened to be the neighbor of Ebrar Wani said many bad things about the Ebrar, including that he called him a mischievous person due to the reason best known to the neighbor. And I always have a good thought about Ebrar Wani, and I need to meet his neighbor. But overall, again, once I come to your speaking power, I really like the way you speak, your hand gesture, your confidence. I found the way you are always, you are always laughing at the same time while you are speaking. Now, this is something that you try to control, but it is time to come with a prepared speech. We need you next meeting as a prepared speaker. Enough is enough. You are the last speaker?
Yeah, kind of we are done with all that.
Okay. So that's it from my side. Over to you, Journal Evaluator.
Okay, the third part of the general evaluation consists of the facilitator's report. The first report would be by me, the grammarian and the word master. Okay. Till what my ears could allow me to hear. Only Faisal Anis spoke word of the day. This full. Okay.
And
That once.
Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Master Amra, did you speak word of the day?
Yes.
Okay. So Toastmaster Amra Yunus once, DTM Talha once, Faisal Anis once, and Shahrukh Khan Nawaz. Okay, you did. That's about it. Okay, and someone spoke. Has any one of you? Has any one of you? That's about it for my report. And now it's time for the timer's report. PM Imran Rana. Okay. Then it's the time for the listener. PM Shahzeb Iqbal.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Elevator. First of all, I would like to respond to Toastmaster as well. Thank you for hitting me harder and thank you for firing the bullets on me. My speech was prepared and I love to deliver speeches, but I did not get the slots because we have 6 speakers today in today's meeting. Inshallah, you will see me in the next meeting, inshallah. Coming to the listener, being a listener, most of the time I have forgotten that I was a listener, so I did not notice many things, but I have write down some things. Someone said, today is a blissful day, but I can't see it. Who was that person? Someone said, today is a blissful day, but I can't see it.
I think Toastmaster Amra.
Yes, it was Toastmaster Amra.
Don't raise your hand.
I said,
Yes, we know you said. You
no,
don't
there is
have
a
to
little
raise your hand.
correction. I said beautiful day. Sorry.
That's what I said. Okay.
Okay.
Someone said, Wallah, I have a Kareem captain.
Toastmaster Imran Chaudhary.
Yes, that's great. There was just me and an 8 years old woman remaining on the boat. Great. Fear gripped me.
Again, Faisal.
Toastmaster Faisal.
Fear gripped me.
Toastmaster Faisal.
No.
Toastmaster Sambal Malik.
Yes, that's great. Someone said it's my habit.
TM Umar.
Yes, that's great. Someone said it's just close enough to be completely ridiculous. Oh, great. That's all from my side. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Okay, it's time for my part of the evaluation. Overall, the session was well organized by the ExCom. There were hardly any technical or physical glitches. The taste of the tea could have been better, and the cream on top could be removed.
That's too much. That's too much.
No.
I don't have any other questions.
It's a personal opinion, right?
Yeah.
It's a personal opinion. President education should motivate the members to take the roles since there were 2 empty slots remaining for the facilitators. And overall, the meeting was pretty good. Keep up the efforts, ExCom. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Everyone, please quickly vote for Best Fit 4. Please. Best Evaluator has been floated again.
Toastmaster of the day.
Oh, sorry. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, DTM Tala, and thank you so much, Hiba. It was a really good session. now, as we move towards the end of the meeting, I would reconnect with our theme today. That was grateful. I'm really grateful for today's chance to be with you all, people. Really, speeches, table topic speeches, and the evaluation thing. So that was really, so I appreciate your all participation and giving us the opportunity to learn and, with you. Thank you so much. With this, I would hand over the charge to through our president, DTM Tala.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amra, for a wonderfully conducted meeting. By the miracle, we had 6 speeches today and full table topics and everything, and yet we are managing to finish in time.
On time, yes.
And apologies for 2 facilitators not being there. I am the culprit behind that. I specifically instructed VP Education not to fill those roles because of the heavy agenda. Felt that, and DTM Ararwani must be mystified as to why are we so conscious about time, because KTC has never been conscious about time. The reality of the situation is that this venue actually limits our meeting time to 8:30 p.m. So after that, we have to vacate. So that's why we have to innovate in order to incorporate every speech. So thank you so much, DTM Abrar. Thank you so much for attending. I just invited you briefly, but you participated in the entire meeting. Fully appreciated. Thank you, Toastmaster, ex-Toastmaster Altaf Hussain, for returning to the club. Great to have you again. Honestly, great to have you again. And of course, DTM Shahrukh Shahrawaz. Always an honor to have you. Today we had good numbers physically present. And my message to Toastmaster Danish Ismat would be, Danish, what's the best way to avoid being sideways in the meeting? By being here in person, okay? So thank you, and let me quickly announce the polling results. Today, the best prepared speaker after a very tight contest goes to Toastmaster Umar Khayyam. Congratulations. Best table topic speaker goes to distinguished Toastmaster Brahmani. Best evaluator today goes to myself. Congratulations to myself. And unfortunately, best Big Four also goes to me. And that is a lesson for everyone. There are so many of us here, and yet so few people taking up roles. So, if you don't want to see me winning again and again, 1, don't vote for me, and 2, take up roles so that there is greater contenders. So with that, we bring this meeting to a close, but not without taking some comments from 2 of our guests very quickly. So first, you go, DTM Abrarwani, your comments about the meeting. Unmute.
Thank you very much, DTM Talha bin Hamid. I will not take that much time because I totally understand now there's already 8:30, 8:34 in fact. Honestly, usually online meetings are not that much interesting and engaging. But honestly saying, there are very rare incidents happen when such kind of online meetings become so engaging and so interesting. So I literally enjoyed the speeches, especially the prepared speeches. They were very well prepared, in fact, I should say. And I literally enjoyed that session, and even the table topic session, and then the evaluation. It seems like everywhere there is only money, 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 money. And thank you very much for honoring me that much. I literally enjoyed the meeting. Thank you. So nice of you.
Great. And as a result, DTM Abrar, you're walking away with the best table topic speaker. So think about that. And Toastmaster Altaf Hussain, your comments about the meeting. Yeah. You can give from there. We just turn. Today is the day of cameras. Today is the day of cameras turning everywhere. So.
Actually, I heard different speeches, and I found more or less all, showing a lot of confidence without any hesitation. And I second the decision taken by you with respect to all. And this really, 4 years ago, I left this 4 or 5 years. Now I'm practicing as an advocate and having sufficient time to. So therefore, that's why I requested Mr. T.N. Rana, and he was very pleased to invite me. And inshallah, I'll be taking part fully, and I'm very happy. Everybody spoke very well. Inshallah.
Thank you so much. And, with that, it is officially time to adjourn the meeting. And thank you. We are thoroughly honored with your presence. See you all very soon at maybe another Toastmasters meeting or the club officers training, or at the very least next week, right here, right now. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amra.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.